It's a beautiful afternoon here in Montreal, and when Lewis Hamilton opened his hotel room door this morning, he will have seen his own face staring up at him from the front pages of the Canadian newspapers. But if he wins this race this afternoon, I think he'll be front page news all over the world. So can he do it? Can Lewis Hamilton convert his first pole position into that first victory? You bet he can. When the 5 lights go out, the Canadian Grand Prix will be underway. Go! Alonso's away well. Lewis tries to counter him, and Heidfeld, there's a flag at the back, but it looks like Heidfeld's attacking Hamilton. Alonso goes to the outside. Has he made it? He's run wide. He's cut the corner. If he takes the advantage, which he can't, he's done what he did in Spain. He's gone for broke, and it's cost him. Alonso loses out. Heidfeld's up in the second place. Alonso drops to third, and he's got a Ferrari nibbling all over the back of him. But Lewis Hamilton leads in Montreal. Well, Jenson Button, I'm afraid, has stalled on the grid, so he's being pushed off as I speak to you.
And this is from Heidfeld in P3 on the grid, and he got away best, and he's thinking about a look down the inside, has a sensible tablet, but he realised it wasn't going to happen. Meanwhile, Alonso charging across the grass, and well, he got away with it, didn't he? A much more significant bounce through the gravel in Barcelona, so hopefully he won't have too much grass in that radiator. This is the 2 Ferraris, and Rosberg touches the back of Massa. Both Ferraris connecting then in
That's
turn
Raikkonen,
2.
sorry, Raikkonen tapping the back of Massa, I think.
Yeah, sorry. And then Mark Webber is going to go steaming into turn 1, having just passed Kubica, and he's gone in too deep, and that, of course, then is a replay. Look at Webber then in the slipstream of Barrichello, and he comfortably takes the place. Can he keep it through the chicane? Indeed he does, and away he goes. Hamilton is a second per lap faster than teammate Alonso in third place. He is absolutely flying at the front of the race, and clearly very, very happy with his racing car. He's on lap 9. His lead is 5.5 seconds now over Heidfeld in second, 7.4 ahead of Alonso.
It looks as though one of the Toro Rossos has gone into the wall. The left front suspension looks broken on Scott Speed's car. He's touring slowly, and well, depending on where he ends up and parks that car will depend on whether or not we might have our first safety car.
And he's got it to a sensible place. The marshals will be able to get that out of the way.
As we take another look at what caused Scott Speed to break the suspension, it was Alex Wurz in the Williams colliding with him. We've lost Jenson Button, as we've heard from Louise, as we take another look at that 50-50 into the corner. Hit the rear wing as well.
And what is this? That's Alonso. Alonso running wide in turn 1, so not only is he 3/4 of a second at least slower than Hamilton, he's on the ragged edge as well, and Alonso then second mistake of the afternoon.
Webber looking like a pass. He's been the man on the move today. Already passed Barrichello, and he slightly goes past for a second Liuzzi, but then has to give it back again.
We've got a replay here. Webber deep up the inside, and as soon as he started to turn that wheel and get the car into the corner, it unloads the right front, and he cannot slow down. Another angle of that happens so often.
This is Alonso. Is that the same? He just did that a moment ago. Is that the same one? Oh, it's not. Look, he's let Massa through. So the third time today into turn 1, Alonso's made a mistake, and this time it's really cost him again, as Massa has dived through to take that third place, that final podium position at the moment. What is going on with Fernando Alonso? In comes Heidfeld then from second place in the BMW. Massa moves up to second then. Alonso goes up into third place. Reasonable amount of fuel going into the BMW. That should take him through to around about lap 45, something like that. Into the pit lane, Lewis Hamilton in the McLaren, leading this Grand Prix. He had a 19-second lead over Felipe Massa's Ferrari and 21 seconds over Alonso at the time of this stop. So theoretically, he might be able to come out, if it's a quick stop, around about where Alonso is.
Safety car's on. Safety car board is out. What is that for?
Well, that's if that's the case, if the safety car is deployed and we're not getting that signal yet, that's really going to cost Lewis Hamilton, because he's made a pit stop under racing conditions. Everyone else is going to get to make one under safety car conditions and save the time.
Well, it depends, James, how quickly they close the pit lane. because as soon as Alonso's in, under the new rules, and Alonso, Rosberg and Co are in. Let's see, we'll wait for the computer to tell us when they close the pit lane. Oh, and that's why we've got Sutil having hit the wall hard at 4, debris on the track presumably, and that car appeared to be cleared out of the way, so he's wrestling that thing along the wall. I think that Alonso pitted after we'd got safety car deployed on the TV screens here. Touch and go, but if he did, and I think he did, then he'll get penalised.
The Ferraris are having to stack, of course. This is what was going to happen when they say pit lane open. All the cars will come in to refuel. The Ferraris have had to stack, so Massa's come in and Raikkonen's come in right behind him and lost a lot of time because of it. But down here at McLaren, the guys who aren't on the pit wall aren't sure either. Paddy Lowe, James, as you know, the engineering director, he's kind of giving it the too close to tell whether we got away with that one. But I think if they hadn't have pitted Alonso, then he might have run out of fuel.
Look, these are cars coming out of the pits with the red light on. They have to, and the BMW of Kubica waited for the green light. What happens is, if the safety car's in sight with the tail, with the crocodile, oh, and there's a McLaren all locked up there, that's Alonso again. The race is back on.
Hamilton comes through to lead. He had a 19-second lead before the safety car was deployed. That has been reduced to a matter of a few yards. He's got to do it all over again, Lewis Hamilton, but such was his consistency and his composure in the opening stint, you wouldn't bet against him being able to do it. Heidfeld is in second, just as he was at the original start, and Alonso is in third place. It's exactly the situation we had on the opening lap. All three of these cars have made their pit stops. Obviously, Rosberg is gained from it. He's 4.
Car number 16 under investigation, Rosberg. That's the 2 cars we think pitted when they were not allowed to do so. It's worked out for Alonso at the moment. He's back in the action. I think he's going to get a stop and go penalty. Then other cars left the pit lane with the red light on. I couldn't see the safety car and this crocodile of cars anywhere near why they would leave the red light on. Montoya was penalised last year for that. That's a big accident for Kubica, and a horrible accident going on there. He's moving his hands, and obviously safety car will be out again. But he must have tangled with somebody in the braking area down there into, I think it's turn 10, into the hairpin. Oh yes, he's had an accident very early on, and that was at maximum velocity. I've never seen a car crash like that in this circuit at that place. And he's certainly moving his hands about at that point. It's the Toyota he connected with. He took off, oh yes, and headfirst into it. So nearly collected the Toro Rosso of Scott Speed that you would have thought in any normal circumstances would have been well out of the action, and that was a huge impact. And both Alonso and Rosberg have been given a 10-second stop-and-go penalty, but the energy that went on there for Kubica was absolutely horrible.
We're riding on Bondo with Lewis Hamilton. This race is about to get underway again, and look at the lead he's already got on the safety car. Heidfeld has been rather recalcitrant at this restart, and Alonso behind him, and Hamilton goes. The race is back underway. We're approaching half distance here in Montreal. This is definitely now Lewis Hamilton's race to lose. He's got it under control. He's been the most composed driver out there today. He's had the pace. He was almost 20 seconds in the lead before this round of safety cars interrupted his progress. So he's certainly got the car underneath him. He knows he can win this race, and now he's halfway to that first Grand Prix victory.
This is where obviously there's a lot of dust and debris and rubbish, and Raikkonen still struggling to hang on to that Ferrari, as Takuma Sato, having a stellar afternoon for the Super Aguri, takes the place away from the out of position Kimi Raikkonen now. And this is costing Fernando Alonso major World Championship points. They're having a look around the car. They can't work on it, they can't change tyres, can't refuel it, can't do anything. It just has to sit there, and as soon as the 10 seconds are up, release. If he needs tyres or fuel, he's got to come in again.
Well, there he goes, and that's a slow-moving David Coulthard or Antonio Liuzzi. He's going to rejoin about 17th place.
Anthony Davidson is up to third for Super Aguri. he's kept his car very much on the track.
Anthony Davidson in the Super Aguri comes into
Nobody's
the pits.
there.
No one's there waiting for him.
Obviously a bit of a surprise pit stop there. Whether he's got a problem, we don't know. The team weren't expecting him, and whether he just misheard a radio call or what, clearly that is not a scheduled stop. Oh dear, oh dear.
Another incident down at turn 1. It's the Toyota of Jarno Trulli and the Williams of Nico Rosberg, who just served his 10-second stop-and-go penalty. They were disputing 15th and 16th places.
The anti-stallers kicked in, luckily, and we're going to see how that incident happened. So he's still got the engine running. Can he drive it away? He's trying to find neutral and then first. So he's gone down the outside. Presumably they just touch. They do indeed. And both of them spinning off. The Works Toyota and the Williams Toyota getting it together. Well, that's odd. They just both fell off by themselves, effectively. Obviously, busy watching each other. There wasn't contact, look.
Synchronised spinning from Trulli and Rosberg. David Coulthard has been forced to retire. He becomes our 5th retirement of the afternoon, and what an eventful afternoon it's been so far. 32 laps still to go here in Montreal, which always turns up drama and incident. A pass on Alex Wirtz that took Alonso up into 12th place. He's now right behind Rubens Barrichello in 11th, so it's a storming fight back here from Fernando Alonso. As Alonso picks up that 11th place from Rubens Barrichello. So he's storming through the field. Next will be Christian Albers, then Heikki Kovalainen, and then he will come up behind the 7th place man, Kimi Räikkönen in a Ferrari.
And what's going to happen here? This is Alonso passing Kovalainen for 8th place.
Takuma Sato's having a fantastic afternoon for Super Aguri. He's up in 5th place, and at the moment he's lapping faster still than the Ferrari of Kimi Räikkönen. That is absolutely staggering. I'll say it again. Takuma Sato is in front of and lapping faster than Kimi Räikkönen's Ferrari. New nose cone for the spiker of Christian Albers.
Yep, the other spiker's in the wall. Oh dear. That's those little service roads. They always seem to launch the cars, and that's ripped that off. And a lot of debris on the track again, of course. There's yellow flags out everywhere.
Safety car's been deployed again.
Safety car deployed again.
Takuma Sato pits from 5th place, and Hamilton lead Owens. Chaos down in the Super Aguri pits. Meanwhile, we've got a safety car situation once again. It's time for Hamilton. He has to compose himself, and we've got 20 laps to go in this such an eventful race.
In now, please, Giancarlo. In now. You are black flagged, Fizzy. You are black flagged.
Identical situation to the one we had here in Montreal a couple of years ago with Juan Pablo Montoya exiting the pit lane when the red light was on, and that's the end of the day for Giancarlo Fisichella and for Felipe Massa of Ferrari. From a championship point of view, this race has enormous ramifications.
That helps Alonso, doesn't it, though? It's well, he's past Fisichella now, so it's a Ferrari out of the way in front of him as well. Gives him more points. Damage limitation going on well there for Fernando Alonso.
Into the pits come Räikkönen, Alonso and Ralf Schumacher for their second stops of the afternoon, although obviously Alonso had a drive-through penalty. Alonso wants to get on with it a bit, and he's held up there by Räikkönen on the way in. It's a straight fight then between the two pit crews.
Those tyres of Alonso's look well warm when they came off. And he's away faster. He's away. Ted's down there.
Yeah, and has he got it? Oh, this is close. I think Alonso got that. I don't think Ferrari will have anything to complain about. The McLaren boys are happy, but there is definitely damage, guys, to the underside of Fernando Alonso's car. Must have happened in the very first corner when he went across the grass.
Webber dives into the pit lane immediately from 2nd place, and for the 4th time today, Lewis Hamilton leads away. Nick Heidfeld is behind him. Rubens Barrichello is in 3rd place. Alex Wirtz is in 4th. Here comes Alonso. Does that sound like a gearbox problem?
No, I think he had to lift off. You're not allowed to pass until you've gone over the start-finish line. So Alonso had to get out of it and then still made the pass.
And you can see Kovalainen putting a pass on Jarno Trulli. That was for 6th place. Into the wall goes one of the... It's Liuzzi in the sole remaining Toro Rosso. It's all happening here. And look at this. This is Alonso and Trulli. And Alonso, yet again, he loves that piece of grass this afternoon.
And Räikkönen passed him too. So Räikkönen passed Alonso. And was it Ralf Schumacher in there too?
Well, there's a big black tyre mark on the exit wall, the wall of champions as it's known here in Montreal, because Tony Oliuzzi has gone into it. His car has come to a stop on the way down towards the start-finish line. It's well and truly out of danger for anybody coming out of the chicane, but I guess the race control will be looking at this again. A difficult place to recover the car from, but not an immediate threat, I wouldn't think, to the car still racing.
There's no way you can leave marshals in that position trying to get rid of the car. And once again then, Lewis Hamilton must wonder what on earth he's doing. It was the curb in the middle, threw him wide, classic problem there in what they call the champions wall, and out he goes.
Oh, and we've got a car in the wall.
And a
safety car. Jarno Trulli, who had just made a pit stop and was obviously speeding around the track to join onto the tail of the snake, has crashed and may well delay the safety car coming in even more. What an extraordinary afternoon. This is just incredible. That's on the way out of the pit lane at turn 1 that he's gone off, and obviously it's very slippery if you get offline there. As they come across the line, there goes Hamilton, and there is Heifeld. He is on the same type of tyre, so that's one thing that Lewis doesn't have to worry about. The conditions are identical for the two men. Wirtz 4th, 5th Kovalainen, 6th Raikkonen, 7th Ralf Schumacher, 8th at the moment Fernando Alonso. How many paces can he make up in the final 10 laps to minimise the damage for his points situation versus his teammate Lewis Hamilton? The way things stand at the moment, he's dropping 9 points to him as the Super Aguri of Davidson gets very, very close to the wall. We don't need anybody else in the wall here this afternoon, thank you very much.
Fernando Alonso knows his best chance is in this opening lap while everybody's just finding their way again, where as they're building up tyre pressure and temperature, and he'll be trying to just steal those places every chance he gets. He's a little bit more cautious this time through turns 8 and 9, and he's got to run out of there on the Toyota. He'll have a great chance, and that's exactly what happened to Kubica when he touched the back of a Toyota, and through goes Fernando Alonso. Now he's staring at the back of Raikkonen one more time. Hamilton looking good. Heidfeld is looking more like he's going to come under pressure from Wirtz behind than he is chasing down Lewis Hamilton. Wirtz, well, if he's one stopping, that's worked brilliantly, hasn't it? And Ralf Schumacher this time having to defend the inside into the final chicane.
He's got him.
Sato goes through.
Takuma Sato in the Super Aguri, and in Japan they will be going mad for that. Such a popular little team, Super Aguri.
Alonso then with his mirrors full of Super Aguri. What a great drive. Hamilton had just had a very steady lap. I think he actually got a bit wide. We saw him on the marbles at the hairpin, but so did Heifeld. Hamilton now back in the 1 minute 18s again. Look at this. He's got a run on him. That'll be a brave move down the outside of Fernando Alonso.
He's a brave man though, and Alonso knows that he's got a championship to win here, and he lets him through. Sato goes through into 6th place ahead of Fernando Alonso. Well, if you can live to be 100, you thought you would never see that, but it's happened here today. So much has happened here today in Montreal. It's been a crazy race, and what an outcome. Look at this pass.
Well, Alonso could only defend up the inside, and it's so dirty and bumpy there that even so, I thought he might fight a little bit harder than that. Fernando Alonso having a miserable afternoon. Sato with a brilliant drive. Watch this, look, that is super brave. Now he's got to hang on to it though into the chicane, which of course he did.
Well, he's rewriting the book of what is possible in Formula One. If he can do this after 6 races, what might he achieve in the future? Lewis Hamilton wins! Surely the first of many for Lewis Hamilton. The world is at his feet.
What a drive, what a mega star we've got on our hands with Lewis Hamilton. I can't imagine a more challenging afternoon on a dry racing track anyway. Absolutely sensational, faultless, brilliant performance by Lewis Hamilton. Heidfeld got second, Wirtz on the podium for Williams, well done to him. Kovalainen 4th, Raikkonen 5th, and Sato 6th, Alonso 7th, Ralf Schumacher getting the last point for Toyota.
There was never really any doubt in the mind of anybody in Formula One that we'd be witnessing this moment sooner rather than later, but how soon it has come has astonished everybody. No one has ever started in Formula One like this guy has. It's completely unprecedented.
Their team gave me the best car. You know, I had no problems during the race at all. A few safety cars, which sort of made it a little bit boring at some point, but as soon as we got going, it was exciting again. But I did hear about Robert. He's a good friend of mine. I hope he's okay. And so best wishes to his family and everything. But I have to dedicate this one to my dad, because without him, this wouldn't be possible.